everyone, welcome back. DentistJess here. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about the most common reasons that people don't floss. So usually I'm talking about reasons why we should or why it's important, but today I want to cover some of the most common reasons that people don't floss. Also, make sure you stick around to the end because I am going to cover some of the activities that Americans would rather do than floss their teeth. So check it out. Hey, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really glad that you're here today. If this is your first time, welcome to my channel. I take this opportunity to talk about all things mouth and oral health related. I'm a general dentist and I love being able to teach people about why our mouth health matters. So I'm really glad that you're here. Today we're going to talk about some of the most common reasons that people don't floss their teeth. But before we get right into that, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a history on where flossing even came from in the first place. Okay, so the first use of floss was thought prehistorically. Actually, we don't know when the first use of floss was, but historians have found and archaeologists have found remains of humans that have had horse hair in their teeth, which don't know that I would love that, but at least they were trying, or twigs that they were using as early toothpicks. So we know that flossing goes way back to caveman days. We just don't know exactly when it initially started. However, in 1815, Dr. Levi Spear Pomley was the first person to write about dental floss and brushing your teeth and the importance of it in his book. Let me look it up. A Practical Guide to the Management of Teeth. You would think that I would remember that, considering I guide people on the management of teeth daily. But Dr. Levi, he was the first person to actually document the use of floss. In 1882, we have the first use of unwaxed floss by Coleman and Sherman Company. They were the first ones to start mass producing it, but the first actual dental floss patent was Johnson & Johnson in 1989. So 1989 is when we first had the official start of the first patent of dental floss. So in the 1940s, due to the rising cost of silk, we actually started to produce or mass produce floss like we have it nowadays, where it's made out of nylon material. The development of this nylon material floss is credited to Dr. Charles Bass. He was the first one to develop this back in the 1940s, just because honestly silk was too expensive during the war to get it in, so we started switching to nylon, which is what we use nowadays. And today we have all sorts of different flosses. We have nylon floss, we have kind of like a Teflon material, we have different types of spongy flosses, we have thick flosses, we have threaded flosses, we have weaved flosses, we have tape type flosses. So there's a whole variety of flosses that we can use. But that's kind of the history of how flossing came to be. 16% of people say they floss at least once a day. Not that they're not flossing, they say that they always floss at least once a day. That's really not very high. 16% is not a lot of people. 20% of people say that they only floss if there's something stuck in their teeth. So if they have a piece of chicken or a popcorn kernel or something that's stuck in their teeth, they will only floss when they have something stuck. And 8% of people say that they absolutely never floss at all. Okay, so now what you're all here for today, dun dun dun, the reasons that people don't floss their teeth. The number one reason that people don't floss their teeth is because it's too time consuming. Which, I mean, we live in a world where everything is immediate gratification. It's now, here, we gotta have it. However, I'm gonna read a couple stats to you because I find it interesting. On average, people spend 15 minutes a day sitting on the toilet. Another study looked at amount of time spent on social media, and we spend about 142 minutes a day on average, and I'm sure, honestly, that's gone up since COVID because a lot of us are on our phones a lot more often, but 142 minutes a day on social media. It takes 2, maybe 3 minutes a day to floss your teeth. I'm pretty sure if we can spend 15 minutes sitting on a toilet and 142 minutes a day scrolling Instagram, we probably can take that 2 minutes to save our teeth and our gums and maintain oral hygiene. One of the times that I like to tell people if they are really, really short on time and they can't do it is even just to leave some of those floss threaders in your car. And if you're stopped at a red light, you can just pull it out and floss a few teeth. I mean, it's not ideal, it's not the best case scenario, but at least you're doing something. It's better than doing nothing. Okay, reason number 2 that most people don't floss their teeth is that they say it's too painful. So 16% of people that were polled said that it is too painful. They don't like flossing because it just hurts. Well, unfortunately, here's the real kicker. It hurts because you're not flossing. Your gums are bleeding, they're inflamed, they're tender, they are infected, and so it's gonna hurt. It's kind of like when you fall and you get like road rash and it hurts to clean it out. Same principle. It's gonna hurt because you aren't cleaning it out. So you have to kind of push past that, floss daily, floss all the time, and it will actually help. It'll help it to not hurt. It's not painful. The only time I actually had a popcorn kernel stuck in my gums the other day. I had eaten popcorn on the weekend, and it was probably Monday or Tuesday, and I was like, oh my gosh, my gums are starting to really bother me on this back tooth. I don't know what's going on. And I floss daily, and somehow it was stuck. I didn't get it out. So a couple days go by, and I'm like, my gums are really tender. I don't know. And so I went up there and I kind of dug deep with the floss, and sure enough, this popcorn kernel comes out, and then a day or two later, totally fine. You would never know. But because there's something, this foreign body in there, it's painful, it's sore, it feels tender, it's not pleasant. So for that 16% of you that don't like flossing because it hurts, keep flossing. It'll make it so that it doesn't hurt. In this study that was done by the American Dental Association, they said that 9% of people that were polled didn't like flossing because they thought it was too gross. Now, this is me just being honest here. What's really gross is actually not flossing. I've had patients who we flossed out chicken that they ate like 2 weeks ago, or food, you get stuff stuck in there, it's like fermenting, you get bad breath. I can't imagine kissing someone who hasn't flossed their teeth for a long time. It just, like, you're literally having fermented food growing in your gums. So I think for me, that's a lot grosser than flossing. I don't know. Maybe you can comment below if you got a different opinion on that one, but for the people that think that it's too gross to floss, I think it's almost grosser not to. You're leaving all that food stuck in there. Another reason that people say that they don't floss is they're like, I don't get anything stuck in my teeth. Why would I need to floss? Well, the fact of the matter is, even if you're not getting food stuck, bacteria are still getting down there, plaque is still getting down there, you're still having buildups, you might have calculus down there, and it's really important to keep your gums healthy to get that all cleaned out. So even if you don't feel like you have big chunks of food stuck in that area, it's going to be really important to just manually debride that region with the floss. Even if you don't think there's something in there, bacteria are super, super tiny, we can't see them, you might not feel them, but they're still there, so they need to be cleaned out. Another reason that people commented on flossing and why they don't do it is because they don't know how. They're like, man, I can't figure this out. We have this string. Here, I have a piece of floss here. And they're like, I can't figure out how to like hold it, and I can't fit my hands in my mouth. It's just not working. What am I supposed to do? My answer to that is check out my video. I will post it right here on how to floss, how to hold it, how to do it efficiently, how to get your fingers in there, tips and tricks, how to do it properly so that you're actually taking care of your teeth and cleaning them out. So make sure to click that link below if you are wondering how to floss your teeth. Another thing that I've heard hinders people from flossing or where they don't floss is they're like, I just don't have the dexterity. Maybe you're older, maybe you had some kind of an accident and or you have arthritis in your hands or fingers, you can't get in there. It's just really hard for you to get your fingers in your mouth. That's okay. What I say to that is to try and use some of the other interdental aids that we have on the market. So here I have one of these little proxy brushes. It's one of those little, it kind of looks, I'll hold up to the thing so you guys can see. It's got the little bristles on it that you can go in between the teeth. There's enough spaces. There's also smaller ones that you can get, these little ones that are a little bit thinner and smaller. Again, they can go right in between your teeth. There's different floss aids that you can have. If you have braces or a bridge, there's little loops that you can pull through. You hook the floss through and it goes right up underneath. So if you need some extra help, you can get a bigger handle. I find for people who have a little bit of a hard time even holding a toothbrush, you can get one of those ones that's got a little bit more grip to it, or I've even had patients honestly put like a hockey tape or something around the handle to make it a little easier for them to grab onto. There's those floss sweaters, I don't have one here with me, I wish I did. I'll see if I can find a picture to post, that they look kind of like a slingshot. It's like a Y shape and it gives you a handle to hold onto, and you just wrap the floss through it and you can floss right in between the teeth. Those can be super helpful too. So if you're having a hard time and you just manually can't do it, make sure to ask your dentist about other aids that are available to help you. And finally, the last reason that people don't floss their teeth is that they just are like, my teeth are too tight together. I've heard this one all the time. I can't floss, my teeth are too tight together. well, that's even more reason to floss, because that means that you're definitely not being able to get the bristles in there from your toothbrush to get it cleaned out. If you're having a really, really hard time, make sure that you use the wax floss or a glide floss to get in between the cracks of those teeth, in between this space. It's going to be super important to keep it clean. If you can't get the floss down at all, that might mean that you're due for a cleaning. You might have some calculus or tartar buildup there. You also might have a filling that needs to be adjusted or a crown that it's catching on. But it's going to be super, super important to get down there, even if your teeth are too tight together. If we can get down there in the dental office, you can do it at home. You might just need to talk to your health professional about how to get in there, or if they have any tips or tricks they could advise you on, or what type of floss is best for you. So make sure to check that out. All right, and now what I said I would do at the start of this video, what we've all been waiting for. What are some common things that Americans would rather do than floss their teeth? When polled, 18% of Americans would rather wash the dishes than floss their teeth. 14% would rather wait in a checkout line. Not me, man. I don't have time for that. Or would rather clean their toilet. I don't know how that's any less gross than cleaning your teeth, but I mean, whatever floats your boat. 9% of people would rather sit in gridlock traffic or do their taxes. Now, I went to school in California, and let me tell you, sitting in gridlock traffic for 4 hours is literally the worst. So I don't know how 10% or 9% of people would rather do this than floss their teeth for the 2-3 minutes it takes. I think y'all are a little crazy, but to each their own. And this one I think is just the wildest. 7% of people would rather hear nails scratched down a chalkboard or sit and listen to a child screaming than floss their teeth. I cannot say that I understand this perspective or this group of people. Sitting there listening to a child screaming or nails on a chalkboard makes me just cringe for the couple minutes it takes to floss your teeth. But I don't know, I found that very interesting. 7% of people would rather do that than floss their teeth. All right, that's it for today. That's all I have for you. So those are the most common reasons. If you don't know how to floss, make sure to check out my video teaching you how. Or if your gums are bleeding, make sure to check out that one as well. It's got some tips for what could be going on in your mouth. Make sure to subscribe, ring that bell, hit that like button, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.